Welcome to BBB National Program's Beyond the Influence podcast, where we explore the world of influencer marketing and uncover the authentic stories behind your favorite celebrities and influencers. I'm your host, Tueré. Joining me today is two-time Pro Bowl selection, NFL Rookie of the Year, second team All-Pro, and Washington's 80 greatest of all time, Clinton Portis. He's here to share his unique perspective on sports, NIL, and brand endorsements, as well as his experience as a prominent figure in the NFL. Let's get to it. So, Clinton Portis, thanks for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Really glad you're here. You have quite the resume. You were a two-time Pro Bowl selection, NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year, second team All-Pro. So how did those awards and accolades impact your career?
I think to look at those awards kind of came after my career. While you're in it, you're thinking like, I'm going to do this again next year. I'm going to do this again next year. So you don't really get caught up in the accolades. It's like when you retire, when you walk away from the game and you look back, and it's like, oh, I was an All-Pro. Oh, I was a Pro Bowler. Oh, I won Rookie of the Year, So when you're involved in it, we take it for granted.
And when did you first know, when did you fall in love with football? When did you first know, this is what I want to do?
I fell in love with sports. So it was like always outside, different from today's kids where it's video game, video game, video game. It was outside when you couldn't be outside, then you come in to play the video game, So I fell in love with sports, basketball, football, racing, whatever it was. And all of a sudden, as you hit high school, it kind of weed out, Basketball was my first love. And I never even played basketball in high school. It just turned into football, I think the reality, maybe my junior year, once I passed the SAT, we all take this for granted. Like, yeah, I'm going to, everybody want to go pro. I passed the ACT my junior year, and coach was like, yeah, you got a 19. And I started apologizing, like, oh man, like I'll take the test again. And like, man, I did this, like I wasn't prepared. And he was like, no, you're not taking the test again. I'm like, what you mean? I got a 19. He was like, boy, you qualified for college. And I think that day, like, it hit me like, dang, I really get to go to college. And my recruitment went from maybe 6, 7 letters a week to 50, 60 letters a week. So the reality really kicked in like, oh, okay, my grades, I handled myself in the classroom, past ACT. Now it became reality.
And so when you look back over your career, what's your most memorable moment on the field?
On the field, I had a lot, I think a lot of the memories, it's like as a fan, you ask for one play that kind of magnifies or glorifies a career of good plays. For me, if you got to narrow it down to one play or one moment, that moment, was kind of a moment of sorrow, which I think was like one of the greatest accomplishments or requests I've ever received. And it was to run out with the 21 on the flag after Sean T passed, for my teammates or for the family to make that request is always like the highlight that stand out to me. Like no one else gets to carry that flag, and like this your partner, this your real homie. So that kind of always pop up when somebody asks me about a special moment on the field.
Right. No, I could see how that would be the case, especially like if you guys were close. Um, so when you think about like just, whether it's on the field or off the field, right? Whether it's through sports or through life, what's one of the most important lessons you've learned?
Believe in yourself. Um, you get so many doubters. You get so many people talking you out of um, advancement in life. Like when you voice your opinion or when you share your thoughts, it's always somebody that like tame them.
Mm.
And I think just believing in you is the best advice because no one else really see your passion. No one else really see your vision. No one understand your grind, like the dog that you're creating. Like people don't get a chance to measure that. Um, from I moved to Florida in seventh grade. I feel like I was always up against proving to somebody I was better, you know. And it was just one of those things like, you don't believe in me, but I'm going to bet on me. And I know I'm faster than him. I know I jump higher than him. I know I can, like I know, but I had to prove to you. And I don't think if I believed in myself or my ability, I don't think I would have got a chance to be known to the world, you know. I don't think I would have been that same dog, that had that same heart or that same attitude. That just kind of came from anger for so long, like a determination to prove you wrong, prove you wrong, prove you wrong. And everything every time I thought I had done that, it was like a slap in the face. Going back to high school, I thought I was gonna win Mr. Florida. We lost to the team that I was competing against, the running back I was competing against. We lost to them. I had a better game. He won Mr. Florida. Um, College, same thing, thought I was going to be the starting running back once Ezra and James left. And all of a sudden, the reality, James Jackson, I got to sit behind him for 2 years. But every time I touched the field, it was kind of like, I believe in me, and I think our competition amongst me and him was like one of the greatest. And one day he told me, like, I control when you play. I said, yeah, but I don't care if it's one carry. I'm gonna outrush you. Like that was my ego.
Mentality, yeah.
That was my mentality. And boy, I was losing because he was going out there like pick him up and put him down. And then when it finally happened though, like it was on, So it was just one of those beliefs. Then you get to the NFL, or we win the national championship in college. So I'm like, boy, I got to be top 5 pick in the draft. I went 51st. I'm like telling teams, you got to trade with Detroit. Like you gotta come get me. Like Detroit got the 3rd pick in the draft. You got to trade with Detroit. And then that reality, like slap in the face. Like you go 51st, 4 running backs went in front of me. All my teammates went in front of me. So I'm like, damn, like ego check. Then I go on to win Rookie of the Year, So it's like, all right, like I'm on my way. Second year I get traded for Champ Bailey, So it's just one of those something always humbling you or someone. So if you don't believe in yourself or you got low self-esteem, whatever it is, it'll take it away from you.
But I think that's like a really great message for kids because, I mean, I think it's a testament of your conviction, and your dedication and perseverance because you also were named Washington's 80 greatest of all time. And that's not, just a certain year, a certain decade. That's like all time, right? And that goes back to 1932. So how does it feel to be like one of the best that ever played for Washington?
I mean, it's great, you know, like it's great to have that honor, especially when you look at guys like they just retired Darryl Green jersey. And like, man, I'm in, you know, not I'm not Darryl Green, but just to be involved, like that's the kind of legacy I want to leave behind. Like one day that's gonna be me. To be around some of the legends that's played this game, to see the path, you know, when you see the Gary Clarks or the Art Monks of the world, um, people you idolize, people you grew up like, these people were like God to us as sports figures. And to say like at some point, because you don't look at it at like today, but the realization is to some of the backs that's playing today, that was me. You know,
Right.
when you look at Saquon and he wearing that 2-6, like that was me. Like
Right.
I was wearing 2-6. You know, so to realize you left a mark or you did it, and people really paid attention to it.
Yeah, no, that's really profound. And the fact that there are, thousands of kids that look up to you and they want to be like you, that's a testament to, like you said, your convictions and just believing in yourself. So, as you look at the sports industry as a whole, how has your perspective changed since, retiring from the sport?
I think like the safety of the sport watered it down. When you look at like I was a huge basketball fan. Like I used to just watch basketball all the time. Um, to I was having this conversation with the kids, and this is no knock on him, but I remember if you had a arch enemy, you know, even if it was your homeboy, your friend, like I got friends that we've never been on the same team. My best friend, me and him will never, like, if you're around us today, we're never going to be on the same team. We're never going to be like on the same side. It's like automatic. You with Deer, you with CP. You with Rod, you with CP. Like, we're not going to be together. Like, it's going to be a determination. Like, we just have that healthy competition that me and you don't agree to whatever we're doing. So,
But it's like iron sharpens iron.
yeah. So when you look at sports, like if this was my enemy or my competitor, or this is who brought the best out of me, we were never really cool and friendly. Like I wasn't trying to partner with you. I'm trying to beat you. Out of everybody in this room, I gotta beat you. You know. And I think that's what made us better competitors. When I look at the world today, the sports world today, it's like everybody friendly, like everybody joining, and
Not so many dogs.
yeah, like you have a lot of talent, but you don't have. I could never imagine Jordan and Larry Bird, or Jordan and Akeem Olajuwon, or Jordan and Isaiah Thomas, or Jordan and Magic Johnson playing on the same team. Like that's so unfair, you know.
And I also think, like, because you keep talking about basketball, and I know you play football, but from my perspective, there's not as much defense in the game either, right? And
Well,
defense kind of brings out that
that was
dog in
that was
people.
a safety, both sides. You know, it was a safety valve. I think the concussion lawsuit against the NFL changed the competitor. You know, it took away the Ray Lewis and the Sean T's, the thumpers, the guys who was putting you to sleep. You know, they kind of removed those guys from the game. If you look at the strong safety position, it's kind of devalued like the running back position. Those were two of the tougher positions in the sport, and both devalued. The fullback missing, the tight end that put his hand in the dirt missing. You know, now you got the Kelseys of the world, the guys that's lining up, it's a mismatch. It's an advantage. You put them in space, you can't cover them compared to the guys who lined up, put their hand in the dirt, and it's like, we coming downhill, and it's a brick wall right here, but you got to run through it,
But it makes the game so much more exciting. So we have to get back to a little bit of that. I understand the safety side of it, but definitely feel like that's what gives you the excitement. You want to see a competition. You want to see competitors.
You do. And I think the safety of the game, when you look at guys, like you look at that Jordan era and Jordan come through and they clothesline him out of the air, like no turn around to see if he hurt, no stick my hand out to pick him up. They playing Philadelphia, Rick Mahorn gonna elbow Bill Laimbeer or Charles Bark, like that's missing in sports. They took that away. Like it wasn't good for sales. Like the value of sports has gone up, but the product has changed, So when you're watching, your attention span not that long anymore because you really just looking at the score. It's fantasy now.
Right.
You looking at, boy, who I pick, like what my player do. I don't care about the team. It's like what my player do. So,
right.
It's just a different day and time.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we can get back to some of that because I think like it does make it more exciting, right? You want to see competitors. Like the whole reason you watch sports is because you want to see people compete. And if it's only competition on one side, right? Like it kind of takes away from the game a little bit.
So look at like the Pro Bowl. That was like an honor, the best of the best coming to compete. Now it's like 7-on-7 when you get to the Pro Bowl. Yeah. NBA All-Star, like you split everybody up and they just run it. There's no defense played at all.
I can say like the young boys, like, because I like that they did that this year, right? Like they had the veterans or the older guys playing against the younger guys. Like I like that because the younger guys, like they came out with the defense because they knew that was their only shot, right?
Yeah, like it was exciting, but at the same time, when you get to the championship, like everybody's stepping aside. Jokic don't want to get hurt. Steph don't want to get hurt. Like we here, and it was kind of like, I know Steph going to be the MVP after the first shot he made. Like, oh, okay, this set up for Steph to go crazy at home. He going to go crazy anyway, no knocks to him. But it's just like the competition, like what you want to see. I want to see Shai line up against Steph and shut Steph down and take the ball and go dunk. Like that's what I want to see. But what do you see? I think the highlight of the All-Star was probably Kyrie lined up against Wemby and almost blew his knees out,
I mean, but you don't want that either.
Yeah, you don't. And that's what made me think of it.
Yeah.
Like Kyrie just with handles alone,
right?
Like could have blew Wemby knees out, know? And it's just like, okay, I understand the safety of it.
I mean, I remember being a kid and going to the All-Star game and Iverson playing. And that year was like phenomenal. Like I remember being a kid and watching that, and it was so exciting. And right, he was a dog, and you always wanted to see Iverson play, from handles to everything else. Like he just was something you always wanted to see on both ends of the court.
I agree, but how many players do you have like that now? Again, I keep on saying Shai because I think he's the next up. I think he's the face of the NBA. At this point, you're just waiting on LeBron and Steph to move on. But when you look at a kid like Shai, when you see his story being traded for PG, going to OKC, having to revive OKC, having a young team around him, really being ahead of time. And OKC got all the assets, all the draft capital to make a run, to make a play for anybody. But instead, you created a dog. Like you got somebody who day in, day out, I should have never been traded from the Clippers, They gave up on me. Just his mentality alone is crazy. And those are the kind of guys that you want to watch. Like when I turn on the TV, I want to see him. If I'm watching the Celtics, as good as Jason Tatum is, I don't think the dog is in Jason Tatum, you know?
So what do you think, like, what do you think about that? Because I feel like you brought it up a little bit earlier in the conversation about kids not like going outside and playing so much, right? Like they're on video games and other things. And then there's this whole other AAU aspect of things, right? Where realistically, some kids are getting priced out of sports, right? Like if your parents don't make enough money for you to be on a team, like, and travel and do all of that, like you're kind of getting priced out. Like if you don't have the best trainers, if you don't do that, I think like when we were growing up, it might have been a little bit different because kids played outside. They had more resources available for kids. But what do you think about that?
Well, I think for us, like growing up, it was like imitation. You go and see Jordan go make a play and glide, you know, and dunk with his glide from the free throw line and dunk. You put the trash can up against the wall, you find you a straightaway and you glide and you imitate that same dunk. It was imitation for us. That was our way of learning. We didn't have trainers and specialists and all this. Is like, well, I seen Jordan do this, or I seen it was Tim Hardaway, you know, who had the crossover, or who had the handles. Then AI came with the handles, you know. For me, I'm looking Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. You know, it was so many guys that didn't get the fame or didn't get the credit for the significance that they had in the NBA. You know, when you look at Penny Hardaway, like that was my favorite player. Like I'm Lil Penny, you know, like in my mind. But just the imitation. Now kids don't imitate. Everybody is. You talk to a kid now, he got more confidence than LeBron. Like he's LeBron James in his mind. Like he's already there. And we as fans or parents pump these kids up to where they have that belief, and now they don't see anything. But they don't end up making it. It don't pan out for them because you've given them so much credit and they haven't done anything, you know. And it don't carry over. Compared to us, it's like you got to go out there and fight for everything, you know. If you look at your high school teams, you probably wasn't the best athlete on that team.
Well, I
You
think
know?
you also came from like a different geographic area. Like coming out of Florida as an athlete, like you had to be like the cream of the crop, right? Because Florida has so many athletes, like there's so many people in every sport, track, basketball, football, everything. So like you had to be really like good to come out of Florida as
Yeah,
an
for us
athlete.
it was competition. Like again, competing. You had to do everything. You had to be good in everything. It
Just to
wasn't
get
just
on the field.
like, oh, I'm a good football player. You know, like we played both ways. I played defense and offense. When it came to gym, like we went crazy in the gym, you know, in high school, college, that's what we did. We were in the gym playing basketball. When it came to track, boy, I'm faster than you. Line up, you know, line up. Now kids don't really run, but it's hard to blame the kids because all sports is year round. Football is year round.
Right.
You know, football used to end after the Super Bowl. Football over.
Now
It's
you
what season is it
basketball.
now? You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
or when basketball ends, it's track season. So you went accordingly. But now it's year round.
Right.
You
So you have
know,
to specialize earlier.
yeah, you're already a specialist. Like kid, I didn't start playing running back till my junior year, and that was because the coach, like, hey man, I can't throw it to you. I'm gonna hand it to you. You know, like you're not doing a good job catching the ball. I'm gonna hand you the ball,
Oh.
and it was the best move that ever happened. But if Coach James don't see that, it don't happen for me. But now kids, it's like you're not gonna grow past 5'9", but you think you're gonna be the next. Like, you know, maybe you got a Russell Wilson, a couple guys, Jalen Hurts, that's smaller guys, but how many of those you got? You got maybe 3 or 4 in the NFL. Everybody else,
Like Kevin
6'2",
Dockery.
you know?
Yeah.
So everybody like you identifying as a specialist, as a quarterback, that's not realistic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to kick return, punt return, learn how to be a running back, learn how to be a slot. Like, it's like, no, I'm playing quarterback. You don't give yourself a chance. And I think that's kind of on the parents and the coaches, because a lot of these coaches that's out on the circuit kind of living vicariously through the kids, and they want to be friends with the kids, and
Or
they want to be
parents too.
yeah, everybody, like, we was getting the brakes beat off us, you know, like you had stuff that you know not to do. You know, you go in the grocery store, you ain't got no money, don't put your hands on nothing, you know, like you just knew that. So it wasn't even a topic of conversation. You don't go pick it up because you can't buy it. So you walking by teary-eyed like, damn, boy, I want to try it, but I know I'm gonna get slapped in the back of the head. You know, kids don't really have that fear anymore. It's just I want it, I get it.
So what advice would you give your younger self or even the kids today? Like, what would be the advice you would give them?
Advice I would give my younger self is realize who and what matters. We go through so many people. We cycle through so many people in life that we think have our best interests, whether it's friends, whether it's partners, whether it's, you know, no matter what it is, realize the people that have meaning, like have significance, the people that's going to be around when the lights go off. Because when those lights turn off and you're alone in the dark, that's probably when you're thinking like, damn, I shouldn't have did that, or boy, I wish I would have did this. When the lights come on, you pop back into character. You know what I mean? So, yeah, kind of narrow that circle. Like, don't give so many people. And then you got social media that makes it even worse.
Even more access.
Yeah, because everybody got access. Everything is instant. Everything is right now. If you DM me or you like a picture on, or you post a picture, I need to comment right now. Like, not 5 days after you posted, I need to see it right now, real time, when it pop up. Like that picture, you know. So everything is so urgent. Just, I think we as people just got to take a minute to sit back, enjoy ourselves, like enjoy our moments, enjoy the kids, the family, like the people that's significant to you. You know, I was watching an interview that Jerry Jones did, or a scene he had in the show, and he was talking about the importance of his daughter. I guess his daughter went to Stanford, and he was from Arkansas, and he was like, I was always out in Brentwood, you know, around, because my daughter was so far away that I needed a reason to be out here more. So I bought 25 lots, and instead of building the houses, I drilled for oil. And that gave me an opportunity within 18 months to buy the Dallas Cowboys. And the reason that he said he bought it was for him and his kids to be able to spend time, to have something that they all did together.
That was Landman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that popped out like that. Was like, damn, that's dope. You know, like, that's crazy, because we don't realize that it's like everything we do, I get an opportunity, oh, I want to go do it. But it would be so much better if I brought the kids and the family along, and then we get to talk about it, then we get to experience it. Or if we was getting money together, it's just, you know, make you think differently, eye-opening.
And so you have a son that also is following your footsteps and playing football. And how has that journey been?
Crazy. It's been good. I have two that's really standing out, doing a good job, with a opportunity to play on the next level. So the journey has been crazy. Just because you look like, man, I've been training these kids since they were, able to do this, and now all of a sudden they're growing into their own identity. They're creating their own lane, and it's like you're a part of it, and you get like it's getting to the point where I get to sit back and watch, like, damn, my son making good decisions. Like, my son actually did that. Like,
And he
oh man, my
actually
son,
listened to you,
yeah,
right?
like, but at the same time, not just listen to me. It's like being a fan, and you kind of see the effect that you left on others. When people had that appreciation or idolization of me, you know, to have it and it's your kids is crazy. Like, I'm looking at my kid and like, damn, like, boy, this boy got an opportunity. You got to keep his head on. You got to stay humble. You got to work harder. Like, it's a never stop. And it's like, boy, you trying to drill so much into them that you don't really want to ruin their experience.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, let me stay right here in case anything go wrong. I can lift you up and help you through this.
But also, being that you've already gone through it and at the highest level, you can help them to navigate that world. Because, I mean, things were one way like when you were coming up, but the ecosystem has changed a bit. So at least you're there, and you've gone through a lot of it. And so you're able to give advice. You talked a little bit about social media earlier, and I know you've partnered with several brands throughout your career. So what do you look for when considering a brand partnership? And how do you ensure that it aligns with like your values?
I think you look for good people, like having a Southern background. That's all we thought of was like having good people, like, is that a good person? Is that from the heart? Is this for, like, is it an ulterior motive behind it? Or are you doing that because you're just that genuine, But then when you go to your grandparents, you think, man, they fed everybody, they took care of everybody, and you have that genuineness that you look for in brands, like you in partnerships. Like, is this genuine? Like, it's not just about the money. Like, is the clothes good? Like, I can't just tell you, oh man, this is so dope just because you're paying me. Like, I've never been able to be that person. Like, I don't believe in this product, so I'm gonna push it because you paying me. Like, nah, that means you've been taking care of me. Like, this product is durable. This product is good. These clothes are comfortable. These shoes feel, because now I can go out and say, like, I'm wearing the shoes, or I'm wearing the shirt, or you see me in the hoodie. It's not just, well, you only see me when the ad come on. Like, this is my comfort wear. This is what I put on.
And it becomes part of your lifestyle.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, if you could pick any brand or brand partnership, what brand would you love to partner with and why?
For me, I think it would be the one thing that I've never seen a discount. Like, the one thing that I've never seen a sale, like, any of that, would be Louis. Like, Louis ain't giving you no discount. They ain't got, they don't have any inventory that's like, oh, like, are we trying to get rid of it? boy, whatever this price tag is, it's gonna be this price tag forever. Like,
Right.
and it go up in value, it seems. So I think that would be a dope brand
Okay.
to partner with, and you couldn't go wrong with like a
A
Nike or
high end.
Adidas
Okay.
because it's been around for so long. It's proven, like they've withstood the test of time. So when you got a Nikes or I mean a Nike or Adidas, you like it. Like this brand is proven.
So going to like just the big thing right now for younger athletes is this name, image, and likeness. So I know that the NIL policy has changed for college athletes from the time when were a collegiate athlete until now. So what are your thoughts on the shift from now college athletes being able to profit off of their name, image, and likeness versus, when you were coming up and you weren't allowed to do that?
Yeah, I was about to say it wasn't a shift. Like it wasn't around. It wasn't around. It was like it was prehistoric. This was like dinosaurs. It felt like, but so being that it wasn't around and we had to grind to get there. Like our grind was kind of to place ourselves in the NFL and then get that opportunity in the NFL, compared to where their grind is in high school to get to college. And it's so early, like it's so many steps missed. You don't realize the value of college. And I think it's an experience that everyone should get to have because that's where we think our identity kind of come in middle school or high school, but it's really college, that because boy, you're gonna go through some tough times if you on campus and that calf closed and you only got a couple dollars and you ain't got no money and you got to get to it's Tuesday or Wednesday and boy that you done ran up your little card, whatever it is, like you got to learn how like life management skills. You got to learn how to lean on other people. You got to learn how to talk to people. You got to have a go-to person that can help. Like all this stuff that makes college valuable. These kids are missing because now this experience sped up in high school. And in high school, I mean, I always say the people that you went to high school with that made it, how many of them were you like enamored with, or if, you had a good ball player that came out of your school, in your mind, you
It was
like,
your friend.
yeah, girl, like,
Yeah.
so I think college is so needed for the preparation of these kids, but it's coming earlier and earlier. And then you see the hard part about it is managing it because you getting all of this so early. You got players, professional players that haven't figured out the taxes and the lifestyle and the landscape of saving or keeping this money. Now you're giving it to kids, and what's their mindset? Like, boy, I got it. I'm gonna be getting this forever. Like
Right.
they don't realize at 17 or 18, that 19, this could be over for you. At 20, you got kids jumping in the portal that was 5-star, that was 4-star, that was all world, not even getting picked up. Now sports over. What you gonna do?
Yeah, and it kind of changes their perspective on money and what like the value of money, right? And what it takes to earn money. Because when you get money that quickly, that easy, and I'm not saying it's easy because you do have to do a lot and it's a lot of work to be a 5-star athlete and even, have the opportunity to have an NIL. But I think that when you do get that, it makes seeming like going to work a lot different, right? Like now if you have to go be, I don't know, like if you have to go work at an insurance company, it's like, wait, you want me to do what for how much? So I can see that as well. And so how do you think that the whole NIL structure will impact the future of college sports?
I think it's more and more taking that competitive edge away. If I look at my day and in comparison, it's like I think I played on the greatest college football team ever assembled. And to me, it's like that'll never happen again because players not sticking around. The team, for us to get to that point, we had 99 blood, sweat, and tears, 2001 heartbreak. 2000 heartbreak to get to 2001, but everybody believed because we saw the work that was put in. Compared to now, you just got a new guy that's him that the world believes like, oh, this is the answer. What about the chemistry? What about the work ethic? What about the attitude? Like if you just come in and you the man and I've been sitting here busting my butt, like that creates an issue within your locker room. You trying to get your locker room to fall in love with each other where everybody die hard or believe in each other.
And it takes
not
time.
Separate.
Yeah. So as someone who's navigated like the business side of sports, what advice would you give like some of these college athletes that are looking to capitalize on their NIL?
Save it. Save it. And you got to get an appreciation for money. You got to get an appreciation for time. So you got to get an appreciation for everything. You got to realize, like, figure out the value in that dollar, and what it took for you to get it, because we so easily give it away or spend it. But you don't think everything you went through to get it. Like I could think back to, we used to be scared of, just say on Monday, we got our lunch money for the week. That kind of taught you how to get through the week. Now, I'm going to put these $5 in your hand. You got $1 a day. It's 5 days in the week. If you go spend these $5 on Monday, that's on you. That's on you. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you can't ask me for no more money. You got to figure out how to get through the week. But now, I used to be scared to ask my mama for money. Like when I went to college, I said, I'll never call and ask my mama for money. Like that was one of the, I'll never call and ask my mama for money and I'm not coming back here. You know what I mean? So that was one of the things that kind of
motivated
me through. And I don't think like kids have that. Like they don't have that
hunger.
Fear. It's like, boy, you just, with my kids, you think about, I used to go out and buy stuff, and you go buy something, you might been unspent $1,500, $2,000. Oh, I got you the Yeezys, I got you the popping whatever that you wanted. Y'all don't even wear it. Maybe you wear it 1 or 2 times just to say you got it, but you don't wear it. But then I watch what you buy with your money.
Oh, they are much different.
You would go on Shein or you would go on this for $200. Boy, you change your whole closet. Yeah, I'm sitting over here, I spent $250 for some shoes, and I got these little raggedy house shoes, and you can't keep your foot out of them, but if I would have bought you these little raggedy house shoes, you wouldn't have wanted them.
Yeah, no, kids are funny that way. When it's your money, they want to spend all of it. So do you think that the whole NIL culture and the NIL policies will create more opportunities for athletes to build their personal brands, or do you see like any potential drawbacks?
I think it's gonna be drawbacks because you're gonna have too many brands. You like look how many athletes you got coming out. Everybody got product, so it's not sticking. And then you really look, like if you look at the WNBA, how their brand is growing really from the last
2 to 3 years,
like the last year or two. But you had so much other talent come through, and now you got a wave of college girls. That's the girl Juju out at USC. Like you got some girls that's on the way.
Hannah Hidalgo.
Yeah, that's gonna change this landscape, and it's good that they're finally getting their just due. But at the same time, when you look at like Paige coming out of UConn, like you're gonna have so many people. Who you gonna choose? Like whose stuff you getting? Like it's like Jordan was dominant because that was the only shoe out for a long time. Like Prime had a shoe. It was dope to have. Penny had a shoe. It was dope to have, but they didn't have multiple releases. Like KD done had, I think they said he had like his 18th shoe release. And I'm like, damn. Well, I missed 16 pairs of those, like.
But I do like how some of the male athletes or the male basketball players are supportive of, women's basketball. And even like you'll see some of the NBA players wearing like Sabrina's sneaker, right? Which happens to be like a great basketball sneaker. And this is like no plug or anything, but it's just a good basketball sneaker. But I think that, supporting their brand is helpful too, right? Like in helping, bring more awareness to the WNBA because and their brands, because it's still a disparity between the two. And while, you may have Caitlin Clark or you may have, like you said, Juju Watkins or, some of the other players with, like getting a lot of publicity and you'll see them in commercials and you'll see them have these deals. There's still a lot of players that don't, right? Like it's a very select few that have those opportunities.
I think when you look at how they're rebranding the WNBA, I mean, it sucks to say, because you don't want to look at a woman like as a sex symbol, but sex sells. If you look at how they're rebranding, like 6'5" supermodel now compared to back in the day, you're like 6'5", ain't nobody looking at her like, man, that might be a man, But the way that they're branding it and giving these women an opportunity to show that they're beautiful moms, they're beautiful women. As they come in, you see their style, their fashion, to see all the lifestyle. We finally get access to the lifestyle because that was a locker room you didn't know about. Everybody you seen playing basketball, you like, ooh, like it's an elephant in the room compared to now. You like, boy, let me watch this WNBA game.
Right.
She looked good, So, not that the women hadn't been looking good for a long time, but they weren't flaunting their looks until now. So, it's crazy how you look at Asia Wilson. All of a sudden,
you Angel Reese.
Yeah, Angel Reese. Like, boy, like, it's just different. But I think the support from the people, you're starting to even see NBA guys dating WNBA. You hadn't seen that. So that's also pushing their brand because they've softened themselves.
But they're also balling.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They've softened their look, but on court,
still dogs.
That competitor has stepped up, so it's a better product on court.
So it's been so great speaking to you today. So again, thank you for being here.
No problem.
So
Thank you for having me.
what's next for Clinton?
We got some things in the works, man. So we got some things in the works. Hopefully, by the time this air, I'll be talking to parents, convincing them to send their kid to the school that I'm hanging around, and hoping I can further help those kids get an opportunity to one day play in the NFL. So at this point, it's just looking at the coaching opportunity, the coaching world. I think the door has been open. You see Vic, you see Deshaun Jackson get opportunities, and I think that's opening the door for a lot of former players. I think Prime did such a great job with Jackson State and in Colorado that all of a sudden so many people are taking notice that they're saying, you know what, maybe those guys can coach. Maybe those guys can push a brand. Maybe those guys can help this school out. And hopefully just having that opportunity and it comes into fruition sometime soon.
Well, good luck with everything. And I look forward to seeing more of you and your impact on sports.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap on today's episode of Beyond the Influence. Thanks for joining the conversation as we explore the world of influencer marketing. Until next time, stay authentic and keep it real.